I don't know about you guys, but I do not like day one guides that barely explain anything and half the stuff they explain is wrong. So I'm making a day three guide where I explain what I know so far, what I figured out, common mistakes people are doing early on, and my general thinking about bosses like this. Before I say anything else, you should absolutely not use a BOWFA here unless it's your best option. What you're going to want to have is a T-bow or at least a scorching bow. But I'm a trash iron that doesn't have that because I don't have the quest done. So this is what I bring. Now, the first mistake that I've seen people do is they'll bring an inventory that looks something like this. They'll bring a stack of teleports or the pendant, but you don't need to bring the stack of teleports or the pendant. What you should do. Okay, now here's a note on getting there. What you're going to probably want to do if you're going for a long run is use a Civitas teleport or go to your house, teleport through the Nexus, and then take this bird over here, or you could use the pendant teleport if you have that unlocked. Here's why using a teleport to here first and then banking is better than using this waystone. See, the waystone is overrated because when you come here and you gear, you take all your stuff out and you don't have the waystone blocking an inventory spot when you're there. You can just fill your inventory with gear and supplies and then go. You'll get one extra slot doing it this way. And one extra slot could be the difference between wave 5 or wave 6. So waystones are absolute trash. Unless you're just running a bunch of low level waves over and over again, then wavestones are fine. This is what my setup looks like if I start from here at this bank in Tal Teklan. And here's what it would look like if I had used a waystone. I would be down a brew. Horrible. Now, another thing that the day one guides I've seen haven't explained is these teleporters. You get 2 of them from this chest over here. You place one right. Is this a dead square? Oh, that was weird. You place one right here and you place another right here. This way, it'll save you a bit of time when going back. Now, for your setup, you're going to want to look at these guys. Not me, because I don't have a scorching bow, but the scorching bow makes this easy. T-bow and Missouri is better DPS, but with the scorching bow and with void, the cost, this guy's on normal void, look at him. The cost of paying for your death is cut down massively by just wearing void instead of Missouri. And void is easier to get, so it's good that that's better. Or maybe it's bad, I don't know. Bad for the game, maybe. Either way. The next thing I want to talk about is what you do on early waves. Because you're going to have to do these waves a million times if you want to get to the higher waves, what you're going to want to do is try to conserve as much prayer as possible. Less prayer used and less prayer needed means more brews or anglers. So it is 100% beneficial to learn to pray flick the first wave, and the second if you can, and the third if you can, and I'd say up to about the 4th is where a high level player could start prayer flicking. The rest, you should just spend your supplies. Spend as much as you need to get as far as you can get. Another thing I've noticed is people say I have just half a brew left and 2 restore potions. That's not enough to do the next wave, but they try the next wave anyway. I would recommend you just claim, you get your money, you get your confidence, you keep your mental health, and you can come back with a full inventory and get even further. This is because the first couple waves, well, all the first waves, are similar to the next ones, and refining your skills in the earlier waves will refine your skills in the later waves too. So, instead of losing your sanity and going into the deepest wave you can and just dying and losing all your loot, what you should do is claim whenever you're running low on supplies. If you're relatively low on the supplies and you want to challenge the next wave, you can do that. I did that before and I got a new PB that way. So it's not objectively wrong to do that, but if you're like me and you're prone to getting tilted at new content, yeah, claim whenever you want. Okay, here's a little demonstration of the earlier waves. I should say, if you're a hardcore, you should probably just farm wave 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4. There's no reason to ever see a race car in this place if you're a hardcore. Unless you're insanely good and you want the pet, then you should farm up to wave 6. or if you're crazy, 7 or 8. The best thing about this new content is if you don't want to learn this new content, but you want the drops and you're an iron, you can basically do that by farming the first early few waves. So far, people have been getting drops from wave 3. That's 3 out of 8. And yes, I call them waves, not delves. Another thing people should do is early on when learning this boss, you're going to be facing a lot of very high damage combos. So bringing anglerfish to eat with Heredin and brews, that'll heal you faster and you won't end up dead with an inventory full of brews like I did last time. Realistically, learning a boss like this is going to take time. It's going to take a lot of deaths, so yeah, bring the food that you need to bring. This is day 3 of Varlamore Part 3, so it's pretty early on. We don't know everything that's going to be in the game yet. We don't know every boss mechanic this boss has. We don't know very much. One strategy I've come up with for killing the boss, or rather stopping the boss from killing you, is when it launches its boulder attack, hover your mouse over the prayer that you will need to pray first. And right after it turns off your prayer, you click your prayer back on, then you move. This should give you some time to look around and see what squares are safe and which ones are not, so you don't walk onto a tile and get hit by falling rocks. This way, you know what you have to defend against first because you're reacting to something you see, not trying to remember what you saw a couple seconds ago and reacting to that. Sometimes you won't always have time to do this, so it's also good to learn to react to the actual projectiles. The green and blue ones going at different speeds. Once you get used to reacting to them, you'll be able to tell which one's going to hit you first. But they can be inside each other, so it can be hard to tell sometimes, so this method really helps. Another tip I have for people is when the Doom is in its shield phase and there are red larvae that you have to melee, you're going to want to try to kill those grubs only if you have time to see where you're going to path because you don't want to get venomed. I found that trying to kill them while they're underneath the boss is the best method. One of the best things about this boss is people have been getting loot, including the eye staff wand thing. The Eye of a Yak. That's what that's called. First thing out of Varlamore that people can actually pronounce. And you can get the treads and the cloth from at least the 3rd wave. It could be possible for the 1st to 2nd, but I haven't seen any evidence of that yet. Unfortunately, the pet, if you want to get the pet, you're going to have to go to wave 6 at least, but most likely if you want to get the pet, you're going to have to learn wave 8. And you're going to have to learn it so well that you can repeat it over and over and over to get the pet. I haven't seen the pet yet, but apparently it's really cool. That's all I got for now. Again, this is day 3, so if you want more information on the boss and on the higher waves, there are probably going to be other guides out there on YouTube. That's all I have for now, and thanks for watching. I make a ton more videos like these, so subscribe if you want to see more.